thank you all for coming out this morning. Very excited for a couple reasons, but before I get there, I just want to start by saying one day to prevent homelessness is something to continue our efforts to really be a world-class city. We have to take care of the least among us, and that's our commitment. Before I get started, I want to thank Fred Teichert. He's a member of the Sacramento Steps Forward Policy Board, and his family have been significant leaders in our community for quite some time. Pastor Cole, I want to thank you for your role. Anne Marie from Volunteers of America, Sue from Lutheran Services, Salvation Army is represented here. Sacramento Regional Foundation is represented. Everything we do in terms of homelessness is multi-jurisdictional. You're going to hear us talk about a regional approach a lot, so we want to thank SHRA, the county staff, and then two individuals, Mark and Melody Stokes, are families who will benefit from this particular program. So thank you very much for coming out as well. When I first got elected and a few months into office, we realized that we had a homeless challenge in our community, and for far too long, I believe we swept it under the rug and did not want to talk about it head on. And we got a group of people together and we started something called Sacramento Steps Forward. We had launched that this past November, and we've made significant strides with Sacramento Steps Forward. The primary areas of Sacramento Steps Forward is permanent housing. We want to make sure that over the next 3 years that we get 2,400 units of permanent housing. So there'll always be emergency and transitional needs, but permanent housing is our goal. Secondly, empowering services. There's many people who are homeless without a home, and they want to be empowered. And there's a misconception that people who are without a home just choose to be that way and want to hand out. And that's not the case. They want to hand up. And that's part of our commitment with Sacramento Steps Forward. And then thirdly, sustainable funding. That is very important. I think the days are over where there's just one funding source. That era is come and gone. We are in an era where you need multiple streams of revenue to fund the homeless population. And what we've committed to doing in our community is to make sure that we're going after federal and state and local, when I say local, city and county, but we're also asking those who are part of the private community individuals to be there to do their part in their fair share. And this is what we mean by Sacramento Steps Forward. This particular program, One Day to Prevent Homelessness, is very exciting. We have over a 13% unemployment rate in our community, and what we did is we asked the faith community, would they really step up and play a critical role in trying to attract resources. And this program, One Day to Prevent Homelessness, is really, really exciting. So I won't steal the thunder on this. I'm going to let Fred Teichert, who's a member of our Sacramento Steps Forward Policy Board, really introduce this program, and then certainly you'll hear from Pastor Cole and Pastor Carthens, who've led the faith community in these efforts. So without further ado, I'd like Fred Teichert, who is the chair of Sacramento Steps Forward's funding committee, to come up.
Thanks, Fred. You bet. It's a real honor to be here. There weren't a lot of takers to be on the funding committee, so I got to be the chair by being the one that signed my name on the line. I was very fortunate to be assisted very ably by Pastor Cole and Bishop Carthen, so this has been very much a team effort. The issue is huge of homelessness, so we've tried to kind of break it down into pieces that we could address. One of the parts of the project that I've been working on that we'll be talking about more today is called the Homelessness Prevention and Rapid Rehousing. Now this, in business terms, you might think of this as the 80-20 rule a little bit, where there's an awful lot of people who don't particularly have mental health issues, abuse issues, other kinds of things, but for one reason or another in this economy, they're in danger of losing their lodging. It may be utility bills not paid, it may be somebody's been foreclosed out from under other kinds of things. But this is a group, this is a very large group, but they are people that with a little bit of support at the right time can be kept in housing, or if they have fallen off into the homelessness situation, they can get back in fairly quickly. So the intent of this program is really to do something to have the whole community pitch in, because any one of us could be in this position. You'll hear a little more about the wonderful work that Pastor Cole is doing. But the way this is set up is the Sacramento Region Community Foundation has stepped up and said, we will be the recipient of funds that are provided by the community. And these are funds that have been, they will be matched 4-to-1 by HUD. The SHRA had applied for a grant. Part of the money that is coming in for the homelessness-related project includes a possibility of $1,600,000 that has to be matched by the private sector. So the funding committee here thought this is something we can get our hands on. This is something we can do. So our job is raising the $400,000 that will bring in $1,600,000 that will be matched, that will result in a total of $2 million for the exact purpose of helping these families that I described at the beginning. In addition to the Sacramento Region Community Foundation, which is the kind of the keeper of the funds and the steward, there are 3 tremendous community agencies that have been contracted by the county after a request for proposals. These are agencies we all know. These are agencies that people have confidence in. Salvation Army, Lutheran Social Services, and Volunteers of America. These are supported both by faith community and by the business and other communities, just because they're doing the right thing with respect to our low-income people. So those agencies would be working directly with the clients to screen out to make sure that the clients that are eligible, in other words, people who really do fit the category we're talking about, are the ones that on whose behalf the funds are spent. The funds don't go to them, but they go, for example, to the landlord or to the utility company, whoever. These are managed by these 3 agencies. So this is something that's not only public sector, but it's a real public-private match. It's a value to the faith community, to the business community, and to all of us as human beings. And it's a true pleasure and honor to introduce a man who I didn't know a month ago, and who is now somebody I think about every day with great gratitude, Pastor Rick Cole.
As a part of the funding committee, we were presented with the idea of helping to raise the $400,000 that would attract $1.6 million. And we thought in this community that shouldn't be that difficult to accomplish. And with the faith community and churches of all persuasions coming together, we now have over 80 churches that have agreed to cooperate to encourage people in their congregations to give 1 day's worth of rent or mortgage payment in order to help meet this need. So we thought that's very doable. 1 day to prevent homelessness is all about what can we do personally. When we factor that out, $1,000 a month rent turns out to be $33 donation for 1 day worth of that rent or mortgage payment. A $2,000 mortgage would be $66 contribution to this opportunity. And if we could all do our part, the faith community is stepping up to make this happen. Churches all around our community this Sunday have targeted that day to make a difference. Beyond that, KCR 3 has agreed that on Monday they're going to provide a telethon for the opportunity of broadening the participation. So people can call in by watching the news throughout the day and make their contribution. And there's a website that contribution can also be made, onedaytopreventhomelessness.org. And so just going to that website, there's a giving mechanism that anyone can participate. So we're excited to see what the faith community can do. And then broader than that, every citizen in our community, we believe, are people of faith who know that we can do something to help people that are in need. There's no greater joy than to reach out and help someone that needs a hand up, and that by receiving that can get their life moving in the right direction. So we're very thrilled about being a part of this great effort. Our community is a community of great participation, great cooperation, and a wonderful spirit of unity.